about the effects of the different hormones. Yesterday we discussed about the structure of many different endocrine glands. You remember we started from the pituitary gland and we end up with the gonads. The structure of almost 4 glands major we have discussed, and other glands also. So you know where these glands are located, what hormones they are producing, and today we are going to discuss about their effects. Then what are the effects of these different hormones? For example, there is like insulin and glucagon. You know, both of these hormones are produced by the pancreas. Both of these hormones are produced by pancreas, and their action is carried out. Their action is carried out in the liver. And what they are doing, that is also very clear. We discussed yesterday that if there is an increased level of glucose, like right after the meal, the level of glucose increases. So glucose is converted to glycogen, and this is done with the help of insulin. Insulin is responsible for this, and the glycogen is converted back to this with the help of, you can say, glucagon. So this we have discussed a little bit yesterday. So with the help of glucagon, this is going on. And as the effects are concerned, we will be discussing that what will be the problem. So yesterday I discussed with you there is a disease that is called diabetes. So we will be talking about diabetes. I'll show you some pictures in the book. So you will there is some very important information are given. So we will discuss it from there. Effects of this one, the glucagon. Then we will also be discussing the effects of adrenaline. You know, this is produced by the adrenal gland, and this is the hormone for fight and flight. Then there is a hormone that is called testosterone, produced by the testes. Effects of this, then we will be discussing about estrogen and progesterone also. This one is like producing some of the female characteristics in female, and progesterone is responsible to maintain the pregnancy in the female. And testosterone also we will be discussing about its effects also, which are given in your book. So one by one we will be keep on discussing the effect of all these different hormones, and we will also be discussing that what type of diseases are caused because of these different hormones.
Okay class, as the effects of insulin are concerned, we know that islets of Langerhans in the pancreas increase the secretion of the hormone insulin when the concentration of blood glucose increases above the normal level. Insulin promotes the utilization of glucose by the cells, and here is the table that will explain that how the amount of insulin secreted will affect the body. So you can see that there are 3 different parts of this. That is, if insulin is secreted in a normal concentration, if there is a lack of insulin, and if there is an over secretion of the insulin. In case of normal secretion, it decreases the blood glucose concentration. And how it decreases the blood glucose concentration? By increasing the permeability of the membrane to glucose, thereby increasing the rate of the glucose uptake by the cells. So permeability means that cell membranes will become more permeable, and more glucose will be entering into that. So that is the effect of the insulin. Insulin increases the permeability of the cell, and more glucose will get into the cell, stimulating the liver cells and insulin cells to convert glucose into the glycogen for storage. So stimulating the liver and the muscle cells. So this is the muscle cell, stimulating the liver and muscle cells to convert glucose into glycogen. So 2 places, liver cells and muscle cell, will be converting glucose to glycogen for the storage and increasing the oxidation of glucose during the cellular tissue respiration. So more and more glucose will be provided for the tissue respiration. So if there is a lack of insulin, so lack of insulin will be glucose cannot be stored for the utilization by these cells and blood glucose concentration rises. Glucose is now not converted to the, you can say it's not converted to glycogen, so the glucose level will rise in the blood, and then when blood will have more and more glucose in the there will be more glucose in the blood, so that blood will go to the kidney and kidney will excrete it out. Normally the kidneys are not taking out the glucose from urine, but in case of like if there is a lot of glucose in that, so it will be excreted by the kidney and it will be added to the urine. So the person when urinating, the urine will be having glucose in it. So you know there is a test for the glucose that is called Benedict test. So there are some questions in O-level in which Benedict test is used for a person who is on person's urine. So they will add the Benedict solution to the urine, and if it is giving, you know, Benedict solution is having blue color. So when it will be giving, first of all it is giving yellow, orange, red and brick red. So if it is giving brick red, so that is usually, now these days there is a lot of other tests are available for diabetes, like people have the glucometers at their home, but earlier they were used to do that one with the help of this test, that is the Benedict solution test. So if it is this, and that disease in which it is insulin is not lack of insulin secretion, that is called diabetes mellitus. And since the muscle cells have the reserves of the glycogen, the body grows weak and continuously loses weight. So usually the diabetic people, they start losing their weight also. That is also another very important problem. Body oxidizes fats instead of glucose to produce energy. This is another one. Normally the body uses glucose. Now the glucose is not present in the body because that glucose is excreted out of the body. So body oxidizes fats instead of glucose to produce energy. This results in production of poisonous substances called ketones, which are excreted into the urine. So more and more, so body will start excreting the urates, and through the urine, and ketones will be also removed through the urine. So that is also the abnormal effect of this. And then comes the oversecretion. If more hormone insulin is produced, so what will be the effect of that? Abnormal decrease in blood glucose concentration. A lot of insulin is there, so that can also cause a lot of problems. So at once blood glucose level will decrease. Low blood glucose concentration result in condition called shock. So the person will go in shock, and normally the person will not be able to talk, and they will be like faint, unconscious, and sometimes they even go to coma, and sometime the death may be resulted as a result of the oversecretion of the insulin. So now are the effects of the glucagon. The same place they are produced, the islets of Langerhans increase the secretion of hormone glucagon when the concentration of blood glucose decreases below the normal levels. The main target of the glucagon is the liver. Glucagon increases blood glucose concentration by stimulating conversion of glycogen into glucose and conversion of fats and amino acid into glucose. So insulin, and this is the final thing that we need to learn very clearly, that insulin and glucagon together regulate the blood glucose concentration, and this is the example of homeostatic mechanism. So when we'll study the homeostasis, we will discuss this thing once again, and as a result of if there is a decrease in the level of insulin, so as a result of that there is a production or there is a disease cause that is called diabetes mellitus. So there are two types of diabetes mellitus also. So these all things are given very clearly in your book, so you can read out these from your book, and the like Zoom class I'll tell you the pages also. So from there you can read the pages and very clearly you can understand about this also. Okay class, this figure explains two very important things. First of all, it explains that how our adrenal gland is working. Effects of adrenal gland, you can pause the video and read out the effects of adrenal gland yourself. You know, it's a like hormone that is important for fight and flight response in our body. And there are some furthermore effects of this one. I'll tell you those one also from your book. There is a page number, so I'll show you the effects of that. You can also read it from the most important, the purpose to show you this figure is that the concept of fight and flight is coming whenever we are stressed, whenever we are anxious, angry or afraid, all these feelings are coming from the brain. So brain is sending this one through a motor neuron. The message come to spinal cord, and from the spinal cord, look at this, there will be synapses will be there, and another motor neuron will take the message, and this message, look at this is very clearly explained that this is the kidney, you know, this is adrenal gland, this is the larger part of adrenal gland, you know, this is called the adrenal cortex and this is called adrenal medulla. This message is coming to the adrenal medulla, and adrenal medulla, this diagram explains the whole scenario that how our hormones are working. So this is coming to the adrenal medulla, and adrenal medulla, there are cells will be there, and these cells will be producing the adrenaline, and that adrenaline will be added to the blood, and blood vessel will take this one to the targeted organ. For adrenaline, there are many targeted organs. Maybe that will be provided to the skin, and there will be goose pimple on the skin. Maybe this will be provided to the liver, and liver will be starting converting more and more glycogen to glucose. It will be provided to the pupil, and they will be pupil will be dilated. It will be supplied to the skin. So there is so many target organs where these blood vessels will be taking this adrenaline, and these effects will be produced in the body. So this is actually the purpose of this. You can clearly see this is the diagram for kidney, adrenal gland, two very clear portions of this is cortex, and the message is coming, this is the blood vessel. So that's why these glands are called endocrine glands. They are not having their ducts. These are the blood vessels which are taking the hormones to the targeted area. So this also explains, I told you that working of hormones is under the how hormones are produced. This is under the two effects. Some hormones are produced under the nervous control. Adrenaline is the hormone which is produced under the nervous control, and there are some hormones which are produced under the some chemical control. Some hormones, for example, FSH is secreting and stimulating the ovaries. LH is secreting and stimulating the ovaries. TSH is secreting and stimulating the thyroid gland to produce more and more thyroxine. So this explains the hormonal how hormones are produced under the effect of the nervous system.